I crouched in the corner of the wall, chewing on a hard, dry bun, my stomach achingly empty. As a dirt-poor background extra, with absolutely zero presence in this campus novel, my daily routine was just figuring out how to use scholarships and part-time cash to fill my belly. The savory aroma of the cafeteria food wafted through the air. But it had nothing to do with me. Suddenly, a sharp slap rang out, sounding like a hard object striking flesh, interrupting my chewing. Looking up, in the center of the automatically parting crowd, stood the main hero and heroine of this world, Su-won and Chen Rui. Right now, Su-won was throwing a pitch-black card violently into the face of the rich heir opposite her, her voice as cold as cracking ice. "Gu-yu, take back your cheap charity." Chen Rui immediately stepped forward to shield her behind his back, his chin slightly raised. With that classic poor student stubbornness, never underestimate a poor youth. Her dignity isn't something you can trample with money. But my eyes were instantly drawn like a magnet, glued tight to that drifting black card. My brain buzzed. In the original novel, that card held a whopping $100. Every time Su-won disdainfully threw it away, she would always reluctantly take it back in the end. But this time, while it was still spinning in midair, my body moved faster than my brain. I dashed forward like an arrow off a bow, snatching up that card which still carried a hint of body heat, and looked up at the grim-faced Gu-yu. My tone was sincere to the point of pure devotion. "Young master, I'm broke. Despise me, please. Shovel your charity onto me." The air froze. Su-won and Chen Rui's stunned expressions paralyzed on their faces, looking like they'd just seen an ant swallow an elephant. Gu-yu's tightly knit brows, however, relaxed a fraction. He glanced at me, with the casual air typical of an elite. "Fine. It's a gift." Chen Rui stared at the card in my hand, his gaze like venom-dipped needles. His eyes practically screamed. That was supposed to be mine. In the original story, the male lead's reaction to Gu-yu's charity was always to play hard to get, before smugly pocketing it anyway. My sudden interception had totally poked a hornet's nest. But I couldn't care less. $100. My 4 years of college tuition and living expenses were secured. Heaven knows how desperate I felt when escaping my gambling addict dad, who planned to marry me off to a wealthy old lady in the next village, just to get more gambling cash. Clutching my admission letter and meager savings, I had fled for my life. As soon as I arrived at college to register, I was hit with reality. Where on earth was I going to scrounge up tuition and cash? Completely ignoring Chen Rui's murderous glare, I turned to Gu-yu and gave him a profoundly grateful, teary-eyed smile. "Young Master Gu, you're literally a living Buddha reincarnate." Gu-yu seemed a bit caught off guard by my dramatic flattery, making him look slightly uncomfortable. He waved his hand. "Cut the crap. Just call me Big Brother Gu." His gaze swept over the pathetic, shabby duffel bag at my feet, deflated like a popped basketball. His brow furrowed again. "You brought this tiny bit of junk to college." "Yep," I nodded frankly. "My whole life's in here." He didn't say another word, grabbed my arm, and dragged me straight outside. "Come with me." "How can my guy dress like this? It's embarrassing." I stumbled along as he dragged me. But inside, my heart was doing cartwheels. Being a sidekick is absolutely amazing. In the original book, Gu-yu was incredibly generous to his lackeys, throwing money around like water. Too bad his idiot sidekick got brainwashed by Chen Rui, thinking accepting gifts was a total humiliation, and ended up betraying him. Well, let me handle that humiliation. This insane, life-changing wealth is all mine now. Gu-yu stuffed me into a sleek aerodynamic supercar. The roar of the engine vibrated straight to my core. He drove me directly to the flashiest mall downtown. "Wrap this up. That one looks good. Wrap it up too. Alas, try this one on as well." The saleslady was grinning from ear to ear. I caught a glimpse of the price tag on one shirt, and the string of zeros behind the first digit made me gasp out loud. That single piece of clothing was worth months of my living expenses. "Brother Gu, this is way too pricey." I tried to protest, mentioning the school's back alley shops. "Shut up," Gu-yu replied without even blinking, pointing his finger at another clothing rack. "The word budget doesn't exist in my dictionary. Cash is the one thing I have too much of." Seriously, I'm touched to tears. In less than half an hour, both of my hands were loaded with heavy luxury shopping bags, the straps digging so deep into my fingers that they went white. If I hadn't repeatedly begged for mercy, his insatiable shopping look suggested he was about to buy out the entire store. As we passed a glitzy jewelry and watch boutique, he stopped dead in his tracks again. His sharp gaze swept across my bare neck and wrists, a playful smirk curling up his lips. Zhang Mo, don't you think you're missing some ice to flex with? Internal alarms blared instantly in my head. I shook my head frantically. Brother Gu, I'm totally fine like this. No way, he said decisively. My people cannot look pathetic. What others think is their business. Fine, I guess. Another massive wave of wealth hit me. By the time we walked out of that high-end boutique, a thick, ridiculously heavy gold chain was weighing down my neck. A solid piece of gold. My wrist sported a Rolex shiny enough to blind people, and even the belt around my waist had been replaced with an Hermes one featuring the giant H logo. I was literally a walking luxury display case, sitting in the supercar, heading back to campus, watching the vibrant city lights blur outside, feeling the cold metal watch strap and the smooth leather belt. The reality of it all finally began to sink in. Every bit of this came down to that single desperate gamble in the corner. Gu Yu, big brother Gu, you are officially my savior. The car rolled into the campus gate, and the bright bustling scene of student orientation suddenly snapped me out of it. Wearing this on campus is way too extra. I quietly took off the heavy gold chain and the watch, and even quickly swapped the belt back to my original, faded, washed out old one. Staying low-key is the golden rule for surviving college. These treasures need to be saved for when I actually need to flex. The other three roommates had already unpacked in the dorm. Unsurprisingly, Chen Rui's familiar, annoying face was right there among them. His eyes immediately locked onto the mountain of luxury shopping bags in my hands, and he instantly opened fire on Gu Yu, using his usual, insufferably arrogant, and self-righteous tone of moral superiority. He barked, Gu Yu, don't you think you've gone way too far? Zhang Mo is your classmate, not your hired slave, making him carry this massive load of stuff for you. Do you have any basic respect for people? I opened my mouth to explain, but Chen Rui cut me right off, acting like he was playing the white knight for me. Zhang Mo, you don't need to make excuses for him. I know exactly what his type is like. Just because he has a bit of dirty cash, he walks around with his nose in the air. The word respect literally doesn't exist in his vocabulary. Gu Yu was a decent guy, but he had one flaw. He was an absolute powder keg. Instantly triggered by Chen Rui's baiting, his temper flared violently. He didn't even bother explaining, just snapping back directly. I didn't order you around. So what the hell are you barking for? The other two roommates looked visibly uncomfortable. One of them tried to play peacemaker. All right, chill out. We're all roommates here. Let's not get so hostile. Chen Rui immediately slipped right back into his standard long-suffering, saintly act, letting out a sigh. Whatever, forget it. I'm sure Gu Yu didn't mean any harm to me. Let's not ruin the group dynamic over my sake. This sounded like a humble concession, but it effectively nailed Gu Yu to the pillar of shame as a wealthy bully. Seeing that Gu Yu was about to explode again, I dashed forward and stepped right in front of him, raising my voice. I turned the full force of my firepower onto Chen Rui. Enough, Chen Rui. Are you the only one blessed with a mouth? You just won't stop blabbering. These clothes and shoes don't belong to Brother Ju. They are all mine. Mine. Chen Rui choked instantly, looking like a rooster getting strangled mid-crow. His face was a picture of pure absurdity. Yours? No way. You're so broke. So what if I'm broke? Did my poverty steal food from your family's table? I cut him off ruthlessly, my voice carrying an intentionally exaggerated tone of grievance. Has Brother Gu ever once judged me for being poor? No, but look at you. You immediately jumped to malicious conclusions, implying I stole, robbed, or became someone's sugar baby. Chen Rui, it's literally our first day meeting. How can your mind be so filthy? My parents even told me that city college kids have high morals and wouldn't look down on poor students from the mountains. I never expected. I paused at the absolute perfect moment, lowering my head with my shoulders trembling slightly, flawlessly acting out the role of a deeply hurt, profoundly humiliated country kid, tolerating immense disrespect. Hey, anyone can play the victim. The effect was instantaneous. The way our other two roommates looked at Chen Rui completely flipped. Their expressions were filled with disapproval and silent blame. Chen Rui panicked. He stammered in a rush. I didn't mean to look down on you. My family's financial situation is also— Oh, I get it now! I snapped my head up, my eyes as sharp as daggers. So you're just a hater who envies the richie. You see Brother Ga's loaded financial status and deliberately try to smear him, right? No. In the past, Guyu always— Chen Rui got frantic, trying to bring up old drama from the past. In the original plot, he built himself up by constantly tearing Guyu down. I gave him absolutely zero leverage, shutting him down immediately. I don't give a damn about the past. I only believe what's right in front of my eyes. Brother Gu saw that I didn't have much luggage, so he insisted on buying me clothes. I told him cheap ones were fine, but he went ahead and bought the most expensive ones anyway. He is a saintly, incredibly pure-hearted guy. If you dare utter another single slanderous word about Brother Gu in front of me, don't blame me for getting toxic. I glared at him with pure aggression. My fiercely loyal, overprotective vibe made it look like if Chen Rui dared to speak another word, I would literally jump him. In our roommate's eyes, this intense reaction didn't make me look like a bully. Instead, it overflowed with the righteous loyalty of someone defending their benefactor. Chen Rui's face flushed deep crimson. His mouth hung wide open, realizing his carefully orchestrated drama script had been completely shredded to bits by me. He couldn't even formulate a coherent comeback. In the end, he just squeezed out 3 dry words to Guyu. I is sorry. And then, like every protagonist who took a hit, but couldn't bear to lose face, he shoved open the dorm door and stormed off in a fit of tragic. The world is drunk, but I am pure fury. The dorm fell into a brief silence. The next second, a thin, matte-textured card was stuffed into my hand. Guyu's eyes were incredibly bright, his voice filled with unprecedented sincerity. Take it. There's 100K inside. Zhang Mo, that was awesome. It's the first time I've ever seen that hypocrite Chen Rui shut down. It's so damn satisfying. I squeezed that heavy card, feeling the sharp edges dig into my palm with pure reality. My eyes actually started to water a little. Brother Gu, you are my god. Guyu was obviously in a stellar mood. With a massive wave of his hand, he said, "Let's go. Tonight's on me to celebrate celebrate school starting." His gaze swept across the other two bewildered roommates. Everyone's going the aisle. This first roommate dinner is entirely on me. Guyu chose a trendy, viral KBBQ spot. It was absolutely packed. The cost per person equaled half a month of my living expenses. Our other two roommates, the low-key Zhao Bing and the upbeat Li Zhe, were clearly visiting a place like this for the first time. Before even sitting down, they couldn't help but pull out their phones to snap photos of the fancy decor and menu. An absolute angel of a roommate, treating us to a feast, right at the start of school. Guys, I've officially peaked in life. Li Jie posted excitedly on his Moments feed, while Zhao Haobing smiled reservedly and nodded. The vibe was incredible, totally different from the original book scenario, where Guyu was isolated and ignored on day one. The meat sizzled on the grill, filling the air with a rich, savory aroma. Guyu was clumsily trying to grill a piece of ox tongue. I naturally took the tongs. Brother Go, let me do it. I'm a pro at this. Back home, being able to cook food thoroughly with minimal oil was a survival skill. I expertly flipped the meat slices, fat dripping onto the charcoal, and sparking tiny flames. Guyu watched my practiced movements, a slightly complicated look in his eyes. In the end, he just patted my shoulder. The dinner was an absolute blast for everyone. Zhao Bing and Li Zhai's impression of Guyu noticeably skyrocketed. Near the end of the meal, Zhao Bing and Li Zhai went to the restroom together. The warm, cozy vibe of the BBQ still lingered around the table. Just then, a cold, furious voice shattered the peace. Guyu, that's enough. Su Wan dragged Chen Ri along, sweeping over to our table like an icy gale. Rage burned in her beautiful eyes. as she glared at Gu Yu. I'm the one who rejected you. Take it out on me. What kind of man targets Chen Rui? Gu Yu's eyes had briefly lit up when he saw Su Wan, but hearing this, that spark was instantly snuffed out, replaced by the anger of being falsely accused. Like a lion whose tail had been stepped on, he glared down at Chen Rui. Chen Rui, you manipulative green tea bitch again. Running your mouth and twisting facts in front of Wan. Chen Rui flinched from the shout, stepping back half a pace, and casting his eyes down perfectly. His voice carried a heavily suppressed grievance. I didn't. Wan just saw you treating your roommates without inviting me, and thought you were deliberately isolating me. He turned to Su Wan, his tone incredibly sincere yet submissive. Wan, I'm fine. Someone like me isn't worthy to share a table with young Master Gu anyway. I don't blame him for leaving me out. This calculated retreat totally worked. Su Wan looked at Chen Rui with pure heartbreak, and when she faced Gu Yu again, her gaze grew even colder. Gu Yu, look at how kind Chen Rui is. Even when you humiliate him like this, he's still sticking up for you. I didn't humiliate him. Gu Yu snapped back, his neck stiff, his voice choked with pure frustration. You still dare deny it? Su Wan's voice dropped, delivering an absolute, non-negotiable command. I know exactly what kind of person you are. Apologize to Chen Rui right now. Same old setup, same old flavor. Every single time Chen Rui played the long-suffering saint, Su Wan would back Gu Yu into a corner, forcing him to humbly submit just for a shred of a chance with her. But this time I was here. I lightly nudged Gu Yu's tensed arm with my elbow, signaling him to keep his mouth shut. Then I looked up, met Su Wan's icy glare, and said as casually as discussing the weather, apologize for what? Su Wan and Chen Rui both froze for a second, apparently just noticing my existence as the sidekick. I unhurriedly whipped out my phone, tapped on an audio recording, and cranked the volume up to the max. In the quiet corner of the restaurant, the voices of Chen Rui and myself blasted crystal clear. My voice, Chen Rui. Brother Gu wanted to invite Chen Rui's voice, Gu Yu's laptop. Lose my number. The recording ended. I pocketed my phone and looked at the duo whose faces had instantly warped. Hear that? Brother Gu actually told me to invite Chen Rui. It was Chen Rui who acted like trash, hanging up on me and calling me a lapdog. How does this suddenly become Brother Gu's fault? And how is it isolating him? The smug, superior look on Su Wan's face completely frozen. A flash of shock and doubt crossed her eyes. Looking at Chen Rui with suspicion for the first time, Chen Rui's face went completely pale, his lips trembling. No, Wan. Let me explain. That call was... The explosion happened right at that moment. Gu Yu, who had been holding back his rage after being framed, completely lost it when he heard Chen Rui call me a lapdog. It was like lighting a hidden powder keg. He exploded with a bang. He shot up from his seat like a rocket, launching across the table like a raging lion, slamming a brutal punch straight into Chen Rui's face. You bastard! I tolerated you trash-talking me to Su Wan, but how dare you touch Zhang Mo? That punch was incredibly fast and heavy. Chen Rui stumbled back hard, a nosebleed spraying out instantly. Su Wan shrieked, instinctively reaching out to grab Gu Yu's arm. Gu Yu, stop it. Seeing Su Wan about to grab hold of Gu Yu, I stood up on pure reflex and gave her a hard shove. It wasn't crazy strong, but Su Wan was completely off guard. She lost her balance completely, letting out a yelp as she landed flat on her butt directly on the floor. Her face was a picture of absolute disbelief. The whole place descended into utter chaos. Gu Yu held Chen Rui by the collar, still swinging, while Chen Rui clutched his face and wailed. Su Wan sat on the floor, shocked and furious, while the restaurant staff and other diners rushed over with gasps. Amid the madness, Gu Yu and I locked eyes for a split second, seeing that besides our slightly wrinkled clothes, we were entirely unharmed, and then looking at Chen Rui's battered face and Su Wan's pathetic state, an incredibly satisfying surge of euphoria welled up inside me. We won this round, flawlessly. Finally, several waiters managed to pull Gu Yu back. Zhao Bing and Li Jie rushed back after hearing the noise. completely dumbfounded by the absolute disaster area. What happened? Zhao Bing asked with a deep frown. I shrugged, keeping it simple. What else could it be? Brother Gu treated us out, but didn't invite Chen Rui. So, Chen Rui brought his childhood sweetheart along to crash Brother Gu's dinner party. Li Zhe's eyes went wide. Damn, Chen Rui has some serious nerve. Whoever Brother Gu wants to treat is his own business. Why is he inserting himself? How is this any different from begging for food? There's a difference. Zhao Bing chimed in coldly, casting a sideways glance at Su Wan and Chen Rui on the floor. When actual beggars ask for food, they don't act this insanely entitled. Shh, keep it down. They're literally right there. Why should we keep it down? If he has the guts to do it, he should expect people to talk. Listening to the roommates' blatant mockery, Su Wan and Chen Rui's faces turned from red to green, and then from green to a stark white. It was quite the color show. Their pride was thoroughly trampled on, over and over. Su Wan shot up from the floor, her face incredibly dark, squeezing the words through her tense teeth. Who said we're here to beg? Do you think we can't afford a single meal? Forcing up every last shred of her arrogance, she grabbed Chen Rui, who was still clutching his nose, and sat down defiantly at the table right next to us. This viral restaurant had an ultra-premium menu, meaning 0 prices were listed. The waiter respectfully handed over the digital tablet menu. Su Wan, probably terrified of looking cheap, didn't ask about the cost at all. She pointed directly at a few beautifully photographed dishes, acting incredibly generous. Chen Rui, order whatever you want. Don't worry about the bill. Chen Rui sniffled, speaking with a nasally tone, while intentionally throwing a smug, petty glance our way. Wan, isn't this kind of bad? You've never treated Gu Yu out like this. He's gonna be so upset seeing you treat me this well. Su Wan's brows tensed tightly as she snapped impatiently. Ignore him. This line stabbed right into Gu Yu like a literal needle. He clenched his fists, but this time he held his ground and just let out a cold, sharp snort. Very soon, Su Wan and Chen Rui completely lost their smiles. The waiter strolled over holding a massive receipt, wearing a flawless, standard professional smile. Your total is 22,305 RMB. We've waived the 5 RMB change for you. Wait, how much? Su Wan's voice cracked completely. We literally only ordered 5 dishes. The waiter, maintaining his professional composure, explained with absolute patience. The items you ordered are all today's fresh air-flown premium A5 Wagyu beef and bluefin tuna. This price is completely standard. Premium A5 Wagyu and bluefin tuna belly. This price is completely reasonable. The smugness on Chen Rui's face froze instantly, becoming visibly strained. We're students. Can we get a discount? The waiter's smile faded a bit. I'm sorry, sir. We don't offer discounts here. Chen Rui panicked and looked at Su Wan. Wan, what do we do? Su Wan's face looked incredibly awful. According to the original plot, she should be able to afford this right now. Gu Yu's previous charity would have been enough to cover it. But now, that crucial handout had been intercepted by me and landed right in my pocket. Gu Yu almost instinctively pulled out his wallet, and that familiar black card was about to be handed over. I moved like lightning and slapped his hand down. Brother Gu. I lowered my voice. Talking at hyperspeed? Absolutely not. Think about it. When does she hate you the most? Isn't it exactly when you give her money? Gu Yu froze in his tracks and looked at me in confusion, because her ego is too big. She feels like you're using money to humiliate her, like you're calling her useless. The more you try to help, the more she'll resent you, thinking you're looking down on her. Gu Yu's eyes widened instantly, as if struck by a lightning bolt of realization. Suddenly enlightened, he gasped. I get it. From now on, I will respect her. As if on cue, to prove my point. The moment Su Wan saw the card in Gu Yu's hand, she reacted as if bitten by a venomous snake. She snapped fiercely. Gu Yu, mind your own business. Keep your filthy money to yourself. Gu Yu immediately treated my words as absolute gospel. Terrified that Su Wan would misinterpret him, he whipped the card back into his wallet. He dropped a line. I won't help her. I know Juan is the absolute best. This chump change won't stop you. Then he grabbed me and ran like we were dodging the plague, as if monsters were hot on our heels. Su Wan and Chen Rui were completely dumbfounded, watching blankly as we vanished past the restaurant doors. Once we cleared the restaurant, the night breeze hit us, and Guyu finally slowed down, panting for breath. Yet, his face was flushed with a wild adrenaline rush. Zhang Mo! He clapped me hard on the shoulder. So hyped he was practically incoherent. You are literally my lucky charm. If it wasn't for you today, that idiot Chen Rui would have totally played me again. And you helped me finally see through Su Wan's mind. Here, take this card. He shoved another card into my hand, pushing back my refusal. Don't say no. Pin is my birthday. You know it. Clutching the card that was still warm from his touch. Only one thought crossed my mind. The law of conservation of energy. Whenever the main leads hit a streak of bad luck, my wealth instantly multiplies. By the way, Guyu asked curiously, how did you know Chen Rui would pull a stunt like that, and even record him in advance? I just smirked. A wild guess. Chen Rui is incredibly calculated. You threw a party and excluded him, so he was bound to make a scene. Just prepping for the worst, you know. Guyu sighed deeply, filled with emotion. Having a bro who always looks out for me. No, not a bro, a brother. From now on, you're officially my brother, Zhang Mo. Brother. I rolled the word over in my mind. Staring at the extra bank card sitting in my bag, a genuine wave of warmth welled up inside me. Meeting Guyu was honestly the ultimate jackpot for me too. Brother Gu, I couldn't help but ask, what did you actually see in Su Wan back then? Aside from her face, I really can't find a single saving grace. Guyu fell silent for a moment, his gaze drifting toward the dimly lit intersection in the distance. On the first day of high school, I had a massive fight with my parents' Sue. I was totally spacing out while crossing the street and almost got hit by a car. She pulled me back just in time. He let out a self-deprecating laugh, and then I just got completely infatuated, I guess. Simping hard, constantly chasing someone who couldn't care less. Until you finally snapped me out of it today, I finally realize I've been doing it all wrong from the start. He leaned in a bit closer, looking for some advice. Bro, give me some tips. How should I act if I meet someone I actually like in the future? I looked at his genuine, incredibly wealthy face, and gave an equally genuine answer. Sure thing. As we reached the campus gate, Guyu noticed an old, hunched-over grandmother selling fruit on the roadside. He straight up bought her entire remaining stock. Under the street lamp, carrying the massive bag of fruit, the sharp lines of his face softened considerably. Deep down, he was actually a really kind soul, just cursed by the typical protagonist plot armor in this universe. Back in the dorm, Chen Rui hadn't returned yet, but it wasn't long before he walked in, radiating pure negative energy. He probably realized he'd made a terrible move earlier today. As soon as he entered, he marched right up to Guyu and bowed deeply. Guyu, I'm sorry, I totally misunderstood you. He looked up, his eyes welling up with tears, his voice trembling with perfectly staged vulnerability. I thought you were purposely leaving me out. I guess I'm just too insecure. My dad abandoned me when I was a kid, and my mom raised me completely on her own. Kids at school used to call me a fatherless bastard, isolating me and bullying me. Then Juan transferred in and chased them off for me. I'm just terrified of being abandoned again. He clenched his fists in mock agony, his body shaking slightly, putting on an absolute masterclass of a broken, traumatized, codependent teenage drama boy. He pulled out all the stops on Zhao Bing and Li Jie's faces. Pity and a hint of guilt immediately surfaced, as if they felt they'd been way too harsh on Chen Rui earlier. Since it's just a misunderstanding, it's fine as long as we talk it out. Zhao Bing's voice softened. Chen Rui gave them a grateful look, then turned back to Guyu, his eyes filled with desperate hope. Guyu, can you ever forgive me? Guyu locked his brows tightly. He knew Chen Rui's routine inside out. Knowing his explosive temper, he would have normally barked right back. Stop acting. You think I don't know what kind of snake you are. Cut the moral blackmail. But reacting like that would only make our roommates side with wool. Chen Rui, saying Guyu as an unforgiving bully, No way was I letting him pull that off. Before Gu Yu could say a word, I cut right in, my voice completely calm, yet laced with a strange hint of envy. Chen Rui, to be honest, I actually really envy you. Everyone froze, including Chen Rui. Envy me? Chen Rui stammered in confusion. Yeah. I cracked a bitter smile, halfway between a laugh and a sigh. You have a mom who loves you, and you have Juan shielding you. Do you even know what my dad is like? He's a hardcore gambling addict who ran up an insane debt. My mom couldn't take it, so she remarried and left when I was tiny. I got pushed around at school, falsely accused of stealing things. Nobody ever stood up for me, and there was no one to even hear my side of the story. The second college entrance exams ended. My dad was already plotting to auction me off to a 60-year-old sugar mama in the next village for extra gambling cash. Thank God I caught onto his plan early. I packed my acceptance letter and my last few $100, then busted my ass working at a construction site for 2 months, just to scrape together my first semester's tuition. Being able to stand here today and run into Brother Gu, I turned my gaze straight toward Gu Yu, my eyes overflowing with pure honesty, is the single luckiest strike of my life. At least now, I don't have to stress over whether I'll have a meal tomorrow, or if my tuition will clear. The dorm room fell dead silent. Zhao Bing and Li Zhe's looks flipped from pitying Chen Rui to being completely, profoundly shell-shocked by my story, mixed with a subtle trace of genuine heartbreak. Chen Rui's face looked incredibly strained, trying to play the victim. In front of me, the literal god of tragic backstories. His little performance looked completely pathetic and fake. Then, I flipped the script instantly, my gaze sharpening to laser precision, locking onto him like a hawk tracking its prey. I took one giant stride right up to Chen Rui, and violently grabbed him by the collar, so fast that nobody in the room could even react. Zhang Mo, what the hell are you doing? Chen Rui shrieked. I've survived real hell, and I've seen way too many fake, sensitive drama queens like you. My voice wasn't even loud, but it carried a bone-chilling weight. If you were actually sensitive, you wouldn't weaponize your trauma, tearing open your own scabs, just to fish for pity. You're just betting on the fact that Brother Gu is straightforward, and wouldn't naturally know how to handle your toxic guilt trips. So you play the victim, on purpose, to force him into a corner, using peer pressure. Brother Gu is the absolute best person I have ever met. If you ever dare to try your shady little psychological tricks on him again, don't blame me for making your life a living hell. Clear. I let go of his collar, and Chen Rui stumbled backward a step, his face as white as a sheet of paper. Zhao Bing and Li Zhe finally snapped out of it, and the way they looked at Chen Rui completely transformed, now filled with pure disgust and suspicion. Chen Rui's lips trembled. Zhang Mo, you're completely misunderstanding me. I really, whether you did or didn't, you know damn well inside. I cut him off, ice cold. Go crawl back to your seat. As long as I'm around, save your pathetic little mind games. Chen Rui dragged his broken spirit back to his own desk. The tension in the dorm room was thick enough to cut with a knife. Gu Yu walked right up to me, his eyes a wild mess of emotions, deeply touched, riddled with guilt, and something else entirely unexplainable. He shoved yet another card into my hands. Take it. He looked away, his voice sounding incredibly awkward. Having too much cash is an absolute pain anyway. You're my brother. Help me burn through some of it. How could I not get it? He had listened to my backstory, and felt completely heartbroken for me. This awkward show of care was worth more than any grand, sweeping declaration. All right, I didn't push back, and just accepted it directly. Between real brothers, sometimes words are completely unnecessary. Chen Rui watched Gu Yu slide me a card, yet again, the pure jealousy in his eyes threatening to burn the room down. He took a deep breath, as if remembering something, forced down his emotions, and spoke up. With a forced casual tone he said, Brother Gu, do you know how Wan and I managed to get away later? Although Gu Yu loathed Chen Rui, he still couldn't resist. Any news concerning Su Wan? He instinctively asked. Chen Rui gave a bitter smile. Wan and I maxed out our credit card, just to settle that restaurant bill. He sighed, putting on a responsible front. I'll help Wan shoulder half of it. After all, this whole thing started because of me. He was laying it on thick. Clearly not just to satisfy Gu Yu's curiosity, his eyes darted toward Gu Yu's wallet, making his intentions dead obvious. He wanted to treat Gu Yu like a sucker and get him to pay. So he shifted gears, acting all heartbroken. Sigh. Wan worked so hard to get into college, only to be saddled with such a huge debt. She'll probably have to work multiple part-time jobs to pay it back. It's just too brutal. A girl shouldn't have to carry all this. While he droned on and on, Gu Yu kept his head down, completely locked into a mobile game. It was like Chen Rui was putting on a one-man show. Chen Rui finally lost his patience. Gu Yu, did you even hear what I said? Yeah, I heard you. Without even looking up, Gu Yu said, you said Su Wan owes over 10 kai. Don't worry, I'm not helping her pay back a single cent. Chen Rui was stunned. Gu Yu finally looked up. Dead serious. I believe Su Wan is so outstanding. She can totally make that chump change in minutes. And clear it. Never underestimate a poor youth, right? Didn't you say that? I think it makes total sense. Chen Rui almost choked on his words. She's still a student. Aren't you putting a bit too much faith in her ability? Gu Yu looked at him with pure sincerity. Wasn't ability the exact thing you kept emphasizing? I respect her completely. Giving her money would be looking down on her. It'd be an insult. No, I absolutely refuse to do that. I believe in her. Forget 10,000. Even if it were 100,000, Su Wan would definitely handle it. Keep it up. Holding back my laughter, I nodded vigorously from the side. Exactly. Praise her more. Hype her up. Hyping someone up doesn't cost a dime. As for coughing up cash, not a chance. Chen Rui's face went from white to green, then from green to purple. A breath choked in his chest, making him almost pass out. He finally realized that his own phrase, never underestimate a poor youth, had completely backfired on him this time. His venomous, resentful glare shot like an icy dagger, straight at me. A shiver ran down my spine. Getting targeted by the main characters of this world was definitely not good news. That resentful glance from Chen Rui felt like a cold needle prick, sending a chill down my back. Being hated by both the hero and heroine of this world at the same time felt like being stalked by two venomous snakes. You never knew when they might lunge out and take a bite out of you. Surprisingly, though, life after the semester officially started was weirdly peaceful. Chen Rui behaved himself a lot more in the dorm. Most days he left early and came back late, looking completely exhausted, probably busy grinding at his part-time jobs. Even Su Wan had gone quiet, no longer constantly forcing her way into Gu Yu's space just to get his attention. Gu Yu looked like a massive weight had been lifted off him. He joined the photography club and the cycling club, without Chen Rui pulling strings in the shadows. He thrived and became incredibly popular in his clubs, and his personality brightened up considerably. Quite a few times, I saw Gu Yu passing by the basketball court, his gaze unconsciously drifting toward the sidelines. Su Wan seemed to have found a part-time job cleaning the court sod, wearing an oversized uniform. She was hunched over, sweeping up scattered water bottles. Gu Yu's pace would falter for a second, a complicated look in his eyes. But in the end he would always grit his teeth, turn his head and walk away as if fighting with his own thoughts. Stop looking, brother Gu. I couldn't help but say on our way back to the dorm one day, in the state she's in right now, she definitely doesn't want you to see her. Gu Yu was taken aback for a moment, then let out a long heavy sigh. He smiled self-deprecatingly. You're right, bro. Thanks. Every time I'm about to give in, remembering your words snaps me right back to reality. He clapped me hard on the shoulder. Let's go. My treat for Baba T. Watching his back as he strode forward, I thought to myself, the future business tycoon Su Wan from the novel, who started her empire using Gu Yu's funding right at the beginning of the semester, looks like she's completely out of luck now. This crushing debt and the daily grind of survival were the harsh realities she had to face right now. As for me, I buried myself completely in the library. My goal was dead clear. Scholarships. Knowledge was my absolute baseline for survival. The gears of destiny began to spin at hyperspeed on a totally ordinary afternoon. I was hitting the heavy textbooks in the library when a lean, lanky guy sat right down across from me and slid over a business card. Hey there, Jiang Mo. My name is Lai Yun. a junior from the computer science department. His voice wasn't loud, carrying the standard tech bro composure, and a faint, hard-to-detect sense of urgency. I heard you're tight with Guyu. Could you introduce me to him? Lai Yun. The name hit my brain like a lightning bolt. This was the tech prodigy from the book, Suwon's future. Key co-founder, who helped her build her fortune. Right now, his eyes were glowing, radiating the sharp vibe of a true entrepreneur. An introduction to Guyu. I played dumb. What's up, Senior Lei? Lai Yun adjusted his glasses and dropped his voice. I've got a startup project for a social e-commerce platform. I've already wrapped up the pitch deck and the MVP demo. The market potential is absolutely massive, but I'm completely short on seed funding. He laughed bitterly. I've pitched to countless VCs, but nobody wants to bet on a college kid. I heard Guyu comes from an insanely wealthy background and is super generous with his friends. So I wanted to shoot my shot. My heart skipped a major beat. It was finally happening. The exact catalyst who rewrote Suwon's destiny in the novel was literally standing right in front of me. In the original story, Lei Jun approached Suwon. Suwon spotted the golden opportunity, funding Lai Yun using the money she milked from Guyu, and eventually both of them hit the absolute jackpot. Meanwhile, Guyu was reduced to a mere stepping stone on their path to glory, and a sacrificial lamb. No way am I letting history repeat itself. Suppressing my intense excitement, I took his card and broke into a mega-sincere smile. Senior Lei, what a coincidence. I'm actually super into tech startups myself, and Brother Gu actually mentioned recently that he wanted to find a solid project to invest in and test the waters. Tell you what, send me over the pitch deck and details first. Brother Gu and I will take a look, and if it looks legit, I'll get you guys a face-to-face meeting ASAP. Lai Yun's eyes literally erupted with pure joy. Seriously? That's incredible. Thank you so much, Zhang Mo. I'll send it over right now. He practically scrambled to flip open his laptop. That same night in the dorm, Guyu was kicking back with his legs crossed, gaming, while I straight up shoved Li Jun's business plan right under his nose. Hype talking at a million miles an hour, I broke down the platform's potential, the untapped lower-tier market gap, and the cutting-edge tech architecture, praising Lei Yun like he was a once-in-a-generation genius. Guyu was completely dazed by my intense pitch. Putting his phone down, he looked at me suspiciously. Bro, since when did you become an expert in this stuff? You actually sound legit. Brother Gu, this is called having an eye for talent. Without even blushing, I pressed him. Just tell me, are we investing or what? I can guarantee you, we will make an absolute killing. Guyu stroked his chin, glancing at me, then at the highly detailed pitch deck. Finally, he cracked a wide grin. Since you're vibing with it, bro, I'm down. Think of it as practice money for you to play around with. If we lose, it's on me. If we profit, it's all your credit. Hold up. I immediately cut him off. We're doing this together. I'm throwing in cash too. My scholarship money just cleared. I pulled out the bank card I've been keeping ready. Even though it was a drop in the bucket, my commitment had to be 100. Guyu's eyes instantly lit up, and he smacked my back hard. Awesome. We ride together. We die together. Consider it a joint investment from us brothers. He whipped out his phone. Lei Jun, right Chun. Tell him to come over tomorrow and sign the contract. The deal was sealed. Guyu and I became the absolute only angel investors in Lai Yun's startup. Watching Lei Yun's hand shake slightly with pure hype as he signed his name, a massive weight finally dropped from my chest. Now that you've lost Li Jun as your ultimate launchpad, let's see how you're going to skyrocket this time, sister. But peaceful days are like a pond rippled by the wind. They never last long. One day I was walking back from the cafeteria after grabbing a quick bite, and while I was still miles away from our dorm, I saw a massive, chaotic crowd packed around the entrance, pointing fingers and gossiping up a storm. The rumors were flying. My heart sank instantly, a majorly bad feeling washing over me. Forcing my way through the dense crowd to the door, I saw Chen Rui looking completely devastated and furious, venting right to a grim-faced Suwon. "Wan, you have to get justice for me. I just got my 50 RMB paycheck for my part-time job. I left it right inside my desk drawer. But when I checked just now, the cash was completely gone. And Zhang Mo was the only person left in the dorm at that time. Before he could even finish his sentence, Su Wan's ice-cold glare shot straight at me like a dagger. Filled with judgment. Gu Yu, tell your little sidekick to give the money back. We can choose not to call the cops. And settle this privately. Her tone was absolute, as if she had already found me guilty. Gu Yu's face flushed red with rage as he stepped out in front of me. Su Wan, watch your mouth. What proof do you have that Zhang Mo took it? You're trying to frame someone out of nowhere. Believe it or not, I'll sue you for defamation. Chen Rui immediately chimed in, sounding all earnest and gentle. Wan, just drop it. Zhang Mo's family is in a really tight spot. They live in a thatched shack and can barely afford meat all year. He has to scrounge up his own tuition. He probably just had a lapse of judgment because he was desperate for cash. We should just forgive and let it go. This sounded like he was begging for mercy on my behalf, but every single word was actually locking in it. The narrative that I was a thief. The surrounding students' gazes instantly flipped, filling with pure disgust and suspicion. Su Wan's brows furrowed even deeper, as if she just remembered something. Her sharp eyes snapped right over to Gu Yu. Did you orchestrate this? Zhang Mo is literally your lapdog. He only listens to you. You hate that Chen Rui and I are close, so you made him steal Chen Rui's money, just to ruin his life. Gu Yu, you completely disappoint me. Shut the fuck up. Gu Yu completely exploded, his chest heaving violently, as he pointed straight at Su Wan, his gaze colder and more heartbroken than ever before. Su Wan, how did you become like this? Blindly trusting nonsense and framing someone who's just trying hard to survive. You never used to be like this. His voice carried the dead, hollow exhaustion of a broken heart. Maybe I was just completely blind all this time, putting you on a massive pedestal. Those words hit Su Wan like a physical sledgehammer. Her face went instantly pale, her body swaying slightly, a flash of panic and emptiness flitting through her eyes. As if something incredibly vital was shattering inside her, she opened her mouth, trying to say something but making no sound. Standing right behind Gu Yu, watching his straight back and unyielding posture, a mix of intense emotions surged through me. It's a good thing he finally sees the truth. Only by seeing reality can he break free from this toxic whirlpool. Seeing Su Wan lose her composure, Chen Rui scrambled forward to support her caringly. Wan, are you okay? He turned to glare at Gu Yu, his voice filled with accusation. Gu Yu, even if Wan hit the nail on the head and you're embarrassed, you shouldn't yell at her like that. She's innocent. The whispering from the crowd grew significantly louder, mostly slamming Gu Yu for being arrogant, tyrannical, and a rich bully, even though Zhao Bing and Li Xie stood firmly by Gu Yu's side, frantically explaining that it must be a misunderstanding. Their voices were instantly drowned out. Right at that moment, Gu Yu did something that left absolutely everyone completely shell-shocked. Out of nowhere, he swung his fist, smashing it violently into Chen Rui's other untouched eye socket. Ow! Chen Rui let out a painful shriek. Since you all say I'm an arrogant bully, Gu Yu casually shook out his knuckles, a ruthless glint in his eyes. If I don't lean into the title today, I'd be missing out. Before the words even settled, he threw another punch straight at Chen Rui's nose. Gu Yu, are you crazy? Su Wan shrieked, lunging forward to break it up. In the total chaos, I was just about to step in and help, when out of the corner of my eye, I caught a familiar figure who had just squeezed into the crowd. It was actually Li Xie, who lived next door, and always loved filming little daily life videos. He was holding up his phone, capturing the absolute center of the chaos with a look of pure shock. In that split second, I ditched the idea of jumping into the fight. Instead, I whipped out my own phone, frantically tapped into an encrypted folder, selected a video I'd kept locked and loaded, and blasted it right into the class group chat. Practically the exact moment the video sent. I held my phone high in the air, my voice slicing right through the noise. Shut up, everyone. Is framing people really that fun? Check the class group chat for the actual proof. That shout carried immense power. instantly snapping everyone's attention over to me. Everyone instinctively pulled out their phones, tapping open the newly pinned video in the group chat. The video quality was crystal clear. The location was in front of a fire hydrant in the deserted stairwell. The timestamp was from this very afternoon. In the frame, Chen Rui appeared looking incredibly shady, looking around warily to check his surroundings. Once he confirmed he was alone, he pulled a thick stack of cash from his pocket, the denominations completely visible. He stuffed it into an unremarkable manila envelope, then quickly hid it behind the fire hydrant casing. After wrapping up his little scheme, he even fixed his hair using the hydrant's glass door as a mirror, a smug, self-satisfied grin playing on his lips. The video cut to black. Absolute, dead silence completely enveloped the dorm entrance. A few seconds later, a massive uproar erupted. Holy shit! He staged the entire thing. This is so incredibly toxic. Framing someone maliciously? I knew Zhang Mo didn't look like that type of guy. Chen Rui is pure poison. He almost completely ruined Gu Yu and Zhang Mo. If it wasn't for this video. Zhang Yida. Wait, no. Zhang Mo, where on earth did you get this video? I lowered my phone, my tone totally level. A good Samaritan sent it to me. Someone who couldn't stand seeing them bully people like this. Absolute stealth mode, hiding my tracks. The exact moment the video played, Chen Rui's face, drained of every last drop of color, turning as pale as a sheet of paper. His lips trembled violently, his gaze completely hollow and unfocused, looking like all the energy had been sapped from his body. He snapped his head toward me, a look of pure, blood-soaked hatred in his eyes. No, Wan, let me explain. He grabbed Suwan's arm, like a drowning man clutching at his final straw, his voice screeching. This video is fake. It's Photoshop. Or I must have been sleepwalking at the time. I've been way too exhausted from my jobs lately, and my mental state has been completely spacing out. I literally had no idea what I was doing. Wan, you have to believe me. Suwan's entire body went rigid. She stared unblinkingly at Chen Rui, then snapped her gaze back to the rock-solid video evidence, and then at the surrounding students, whose faces showed nothing but open disgust and pure contempt. Finally, her eyes swept across an entirely stone-faced Gu Yu and me, standing right behind him with a completely clear conscience. Her face flushed from crimson to green, then from green to pale white, shifting colors like a broken palette. It was the pure vertigo of a shattered belief system, mixed with the burning shame of being stripped naked in public. Smack! A sharp, echoing slap rang out. Suwan used every single ounce of her strength and slammed her palm right across Chen Rui's face. Chen Rui, you absolutely disgust me. Her voice was completely raspy, cracking with tears. Her eyes filled with total despair and the raw fury of being played like a fool. She violently shook off Chen Rui's grip and shoved through the crowd like she was dodging a plague, sprinting away without looking back once. Wan, listen to me explain. Chen Rui clutched his face and tried to chase after her in pure panic, but the surrounding students intentionally blocked his path. Get out of the way, he roared in exasperation, only to get hit with even more sneering looks and ruthless mockery. Oh look, the drama king show bombed. You've got some nerve chasing her after that. Just beat it already. Gu Yu watched the entire circus play out with cold detachment, until Chen Rui also miserably squeezed through the crowd and vanished. Only then did he turn to the watching crowd, announcing clearly, everyone here, be my witnesses. As for today's stunt, the Jiu family legal team will formally educate these two on exactly what defamation and false accusations mean. The legal notices will be served in a matter of days. With that, he didn't spare another glance for anyone, grabbed me, parted the crowd, and walked into our dorm room, slamming the door shut behind us with a loud thud. The door completely cut off the chaos outside. Gu Yu leaned against the door and let out a massive, deep sigh of relief, looking like a massive weight had just been lifted off his shoulders. He looked over at me, his eyes filled with a complex mix of emotions. The lingering shock after intense rage, the stinging pain of betrayal, but most of all, a sense of absolute relief and freedom, now that the dust had settled. Zhang Mo, his voice sounded slightly raspy, I'm sorry. I dragged you into this again. I shook my head. breaking into a totally genuine smile. What are you talking about, Brother Go? As long as the truth is out, it's fine. Plus, doesn't this perfectly clear your name too? That's only because you had that video. Guyu walked over and gave me a massive heavy bear hug, then quickly let go, clenching and unclenching his fists, finally bursting into a wide, completely satisfied laugh. Incredible, that was so damn satisfying. That idiot, Chen Rui, completely had it coming. You are literally his worst nightmare. He paused for a second, his eyes full of pure sincerity. And my absolute lucky charm. Brother Gu, I said, watching the very last trace of lingering affection for Su Wan completely vanish from his eyes. I asked, so you really don't have any feelings left for her now? Guyu nodded without a shred of hesitation, his eyes completely clear. None. Thinking back to how insufferably entitled she was, and how she couldn't tell right from wrong. I just feel like the old me was an absolute blind idiot. He let out a self-deprecating chuckle, then proudly whipped out another bank card, and stuffed it into my hands. Take it. Your bro is having a killer day today, and I just realized an absolute truth. Spending money on toxic people ruins your life, but spending money on your brother brings luck forever. The law of conservation of energy had once again perfectly played out. Guyu kept his word flawlessly. To celebrate breaking free from his toxic simping phase, and to thank Xiaobing and Li Zhe, backing us up at a clutch moment. With a wave of his hand, he treated us to that spot off campus, the Western place supposedly run by a Michelin-starred chef. The vibes were immaculate, with flickering candlelight and silver cutlery reflecting a warm golden glow. Guyu casually ordered ridiculously expensive steaks and wine like a pro. Zhao Bing and Li Zhe tried their best to play it cool, but their eyes totally gave away their hype. I was cutting into my juicy tender steak, listening to them gossip about club drama, occasionally dropping a comment or two, just soaking in this rare down-to-earth vibe. Halfway through the meal, we caught snippets of gossip from the next table. Did you hear? The money Chen Rui hid behind the fire hydrant true actually went missing later. Serves him fucking right. That's what you call a colossal backfire. Karma's a bitch. He totally had it coming. Keep it down. But man, that's satisfying. I picked up my wine glass, hiding a smirk behind it. Yeah, I was the one who took the money, just giving him a taste of his own medicine. But I didn't pocket a single cent of it. I donated it anonymously to a rural education fund. Consider it me building up some good karma for Chen Rui. The Zhu family's legal team was crazy efficient. In less than a week, cease and desist letters, stamped with shiny red law firm seals, were delivered straight to Su Wan and Chen Rui. The wording was airtight, the logic flawless. It listed all their defamatory bullshit at the dorm entrance, their false accusations against me and Yu, and the massive PR damage they caused. It demanded a public apology and compensation for emotional distress, faced with hardcore legal pressure, and the sheer intimidation of the GU family's background. Su Wan and Chen Rui finally caved on their respective campus forum accounts, and in the class group chats, they posted an 800-word, blood and tears, or at least on the surface, scanned handwritten apology letter, claiming they were misled by rumors, and acted on impulse, causing severe harm to Zhang Mo and Gu Yu. They deeply reflected and sincerely apologized. After the apology drop, they went completely viral on campus for all the wrong reasons. Walking around, they were constantly bombarded with pointing fingers and whispers. The Golden Kids had hit rock bottom. Their main character energy was completely dead. Su Wan quit her job at the stadium and practically went into hiding. Chen Rui packed up and scurried out of our dorm. There happened to be an empty bed next door. When the guys next door found out he was moving in, they literally wailed in the hallway all afternoon. I thought after this whole fiasco, Guyu was finally done with those two clowns. But I severely underestimated how shamelessly thick-skinned some people can get when money is involved. Days flew by amid the rustling of library books, the hype of GUU's club activities, and the increasingly hectic meetings at Lei Jun's startup. Time just slipped away. In the blink of an eye, a year passed. Lai Yun's platform, backed by the Jiu family's massive capital, and the occasional genius ideas I pitched from my hazy past life memories, was skyrocketing. When the year-end dividends hit my account, I stared at the long string of zeros on my balance, and totally zoned out in front of the campus ATM. Sunlight spilled through the glass roof, warm and comforting. A sense of security I'd never felt before washed over me. I knew that, in this life, I was finally financially free, and all of this traced back to Gu Yu, to that bank card he tossed me in the corner, and the countless times he casually bailed me out. I believe in returning the favor, so, on Gu Yu's birthday, I bit the bullet, and blew the majority of my dividend payout. I pulled some strings and copped a limited edition sports car model he'd been obsessed with, an exact 1-1 replica of his very first supercar. When he tore open that massive, silver ribbon gift box, and saw the gleaming model inside, those eyes of his that were usually so cocky and unbothered went wide for the very first time. Holy shit, Zhang Mo. Are you insane? He picked it up, his fingers literally trembling. His voice was a mix of pure shock and heartbreak for my wallet. This thing costs a lifetime of good meals, bro. You could have just bought me dinner. Why'd you go all out? Seeing him carefully wipe down the car's body, any sting I felt over spending the money instantly vanished. All that was left was pure joy. You deserve it, brother Yu. I wouldn't be where I am today without you. I meant every single word. Gu Yu stared at me dead in the eyes for a few seconds, then suddenly threw his arm around my shoulder and slapped my back. It wasn't a light tap, but it carried an unspoken, absolute bro code bond. Damn it, you're making me blush. Let's go. We're getting wasted tonight. Drinks are on me. We had an absolute blast that night. We didn't hit up some fancy Michelin spot, just a joint on the street behind campus. The one with the most authentic street vibes, a BBQ stand. Gu Yu used to turn his nose up at. The skewers were sizzling. The ice-cold beers kept flowing. Gu Yu was screaming at the top of his lungs, playing drinking games with the boss, while Zhao Bing and Li Jie were hyping him up. I just ate quietly, soaking in this loud, real, and comforting energy. The tipsy night breeze hit my face. It felt so good, I almost sighed out loud. Fully fed and totally buzzed, Gu Yu and I stumbled back to campus, arms around each other. The streetlights stretched our shadows out long. But just a few dozen meters from the school gates, a taxi suddenly slammed its brakes right next to us. The door flew open, and a figure rushed out like a hurricane, throwing her arms wide to block Gu Yu's path. It was Su Wan. She was wearing a faded, overwashed dress. Her hair was a mess, and under the dim streetlights, she looked pale and totally exhausted, but her eyes were unsettlingly bright, locking dead onto Gu Yu. With this unhinged, all-or-nothing desperation. Gu Yu, we need to talk. Her voice was raspy, but weirdly stubborn. Gu Yu sobered up instantly, his brows knitted together, and his face showed pure, unfiltered disgust and annoyance. Su Wan, we have literally nothing to talk about. Move out of the way. Looking at you makes me sick. He pulled me along to walk around her, but Su Wan planted her feet like a tree, and blocked us again. She took a deep breath, her chest heaving, and in a tone that sounded like she was doing him a favor, she said, word by word, "Fine, you win this time. I'm willing to date you." The air literally froze. Even the greasy BBQ smell blowing over seemed to pause for a second. Gu Yu's expression morphed from disgust into pure disbelief, like he just heard the funniest joke of the century. A mocking sneer formed on his lips. What did you say? Date you? Did you get your head slammed in a door? Su Wan, do you think you're even worthy? Su Wan's face instantly turned incredibly ugly, but she forced it down, jaw completely clenched. Gu Yu, you've been suppressing me this whole time, not letting it go. Isn't it just because you're still obsessed with me? You just wanted to force me to bow my head, right? Well, I'm coming to you now. What more do you want? Playing hard to get has its limits. Her tone still carried that signature, suffocating entitlement. If you push me too far, I will never look back at you again. Hearing this, even I almost burst out laughing. Who the hell gave her this much confidence? Fish Liang. Guyu was so mad he practically laughed out loud. He waved his hand like he was swatting a fly, his tone dripping with impatience and utter disdain. Oh, I'm dead serious. Please, get mad and get the fuck out of my face. Meeting you was the absolute worst bad luck of my life. Bar none. Those words were like a sharp, ringing slap right across Suwan's face. All the color drained from her cheeks, her lips trembling, her eyes were full of disbelief, and the rage of being completely humiliated. She glared at Guyu for a few seconds, trying to find even a hint of hesitation or regret, but all she saw was ice-cold rejection. Fine, Guyu, don't regret this. She practically shrieked at him, then spun around and dashed away like a manic gust of wind. She threw herself into the taxi that was still waiting, slammed the door shut, and the cab peeled out, its taillights leaving two glaring red streaks in the night. Psycho! Guyu spat in the direction of the taillights. He tugged at me. Let's go, let's go. That was fucking cursed. Should have checked my horoscope before stepping out. I thought Suwan throwing herself at him was the biggest plot twist of the night. But just as we reached the dorm building, another surprise was waiting for us. Chen Rui was standing there like a statue, silently lurking in the shadows of the dorm entrance. Seeing Guyu, he immediately scurried over, his face twisted into this bizarre mix of humiliation and a martyr-like righteousness. Guyu, his voice was dry. I'm willing to give Wanwan to you, as long as you lend a hand and help her get through this crisis. Guyu stopped dead in his tracks. He looked Chen Rui up and down like he was an alien species, his face running through a whole spectrum of emotions, before settling on a mix of pure disgust and utter speechlessness. Are you two mentally ill? Did you share the same brain cell when it got slammed in a door? Is Suwan some universally loved, shiny trophy? In my eyes, she's a total train wreck. I'm not a garbage recycling facility to just take in whatever trash comes my way. Chen Rui was completely stunned by his ruthless, brutal description, his mouth hanging wide open. You really don't like Wanwan anymore? No shit. Guyu rolled his eyes aggressively, speaking with absolute finality. So stay the hell away from me. Looking at either of you makes me want to bleach my fucking eyes. Looking like he was terrified of catching some nasty disease, he grabbed my arm and bolted into the dorm building, taking the stairs two at a time, completely shutting Chen Rui's stunned, resentful, and bitter glare. Out behind the heavy door, the world was finally quiet. Guyu let out a massive sigh of relief, slumping into his chair and rubbing his temples. Zhang Mo, are those two totally delusional? I've been dodging them like the plague. So why are they still haunting me? I poured a cup of water, handed it to him. They're probably just completely desperate. I heard a rumor that Suwan's gambling addict dad screwed up even worse, and her grandma's medical bills have skyrocketed to astronomical numbers. Without you acting as their walking ATM, Guyu, you can imagine how miserable their lives are. Guyu let out a mocking sneer without replying, but the pure disgust in his eyes deepened. Peaceful days went on for a while, and Lei Jun's company was crushing it, its valuation skyrocketing like crazy. As a seed investor, my personal net worth naturally blew up too. When the next massive dividend payout hit my account, I decided to treat Guyu to an epic meal. I picked a spot in the city's top-tier hotel's rooftop revolving restaurant, not for anything else, but just to thank him for completely changing the destiny of this dirt-poor background extra. Outside the massive floor-to-ceiling windows was the glittering city nightscape. Delicate French dishes were served one by one, the silver utensils clinking crisply. Guyu sliced into his foie gras, suddenly getting sentimental. Man, time flies so fast. In a blink, we're already seniors. Zhang Mo, you've really made it, kid. Who could have guessed back then? He raised his glass. To the future. To the future. I smiled and clinked my glass. We finished that meal feeling completely satisfied, and took a stroll along the riverfront to digest. The damp river breeze blew away the cozy warmth of the restaurant, and the neon lights reflected on the pitch-black water, looking shattered and dreamy. Just as we were about to hit that relatively quiet path, Near the school's back gate, 7 or 8 thugs, with bleached blonde hair and full-sleeve tattoos. Guys who clearly spelled trouble, swaggered out of the shadows, cigarettes in mouth. They blocked our path with malicious intent, completely cutting off our way forward. The leader, a guy with a scarred face, smirked, flashing a mouthful of yellow teeth. With a sleazy, arrogant tone, he sneered, "Hey there, young masters. The boys have been a little tight on cash lately. How about lending us some spending money?" Gu Yu frowned, instinctively stepping in front of me to shield me. His voice turned ice cold. "Oh ho, got a bit of a temper, huh?" Scarface let out a mocking sneer, tapping the steel pipe in his hand. "You want to do this the hard way, boys?" Before he could even finish his tough guy speech, several dark silhouettes, agile as cheetahs, lunged out of the shadows of the nearby bushes without any warning. Dropping from parked car roofs and leaping from behind streetlights, they struck like lightning. Their moves were fast, precise, and ruthless, in practically a single clash, accompanied by a few short muffled groans and the sickening crack of dislocated bones. Those 7 or 8 thugs who were acting so tough a second ago were tossed aside like broken rag dolls. They laid scattered across the ground, rolling around and groaning in pain. Their weapons dropped everywhere. The entire beatdown took less than 10 seconds. Scarface was pinned hard against the pavement by a guy in black, his face smashed against the freezing concrete. His eyes were wide with pure terror and confusion, seemingly having no idea what just hit him. The other bodyguards in black stood silently around Guyu and me, forming a silent human wall that completely blocked off any potential danger. Guyu dusted off some non-existent dirt from his clothes, casually strolled over to Scarface, squatted down, and tapped the guy's face with the tip of his shoe. "Speak. Who sent you?" Scarface was scared out of his mind, spilling everything instantly, like beans out of a bamboo tube. It was a chick surnamed Sue, and the pretty boy she was with. They said we just needed to scare you guys a bit, and then the chick would run out yelling for help, and pretend to save you. They promised us $50 after it was done. Boss, sir, we had no idea you rolled with a squad like this. We were just doing a job for cash. Please let us go. Su Wan, Chen Rui, Gu Yu and I exchanged a glance, both seeing the absolute absurdity and a flash of icy rage in each other's eyes. "Huh," Gu Yu sneered coldly, standing up. "Still haven't given up, huh? Playing the hero saves the beauty trope? Too bad. My vision is 20/20 now." He turned his head and spoke to the guy who looked like the head bodyguard. "Old Joe, deal with these guys using the usual rules. As for the 2 masterminds behind this," a cold, ruthless glint flashed in his eyes, "teach them a lesson they will never forget for the rest of their lives. Just don't kill them." "Yes, young master." Old Joe's voice was steady. He waved his hand, and the bodyguards dragged the groaning thugs away into the darkness like dragging dead dogs. Gu Yu walked over to me, his face still carrying a trace of anger. "Damn it, what a buzzkill. That toxic couple completely ruined a perfectly good mood. Jiang Mo, you didn't get scared, right?" I shook my head, looking toward the direction where the bodyguards disappeared. I felt absolutely zero sympathy. As expected, no matter how much their protagonist halos fade, they still have a death wish. "Brother Gu," I reminded him, "what about their plan to go start a business in northern Myanmar?" Gu Yu paused for a second, then, as if he just heard the funniest joke in the world, burst out laughing hysterically. "Start a business in northern Myanmar? Sure. Let them go start their business. I hope they really make a killing out there." His eyes were full of pure mockery, wishing them a bright and prosperous future. "And I hope they never come back." A few days later, Gu Yu received a text from Chen Rui, sent from an anonymous overseas number. The tone was still dripping with that delusional confidence and resentment. "Gu Yu, Wan and I have finally found the real path to getting rich. We're going abroad to make our massive breakthrough. Just you wait. When we come back, rich and famous, we are definitely going to take all of you who look down on us and trample you right under our feet." Gu Yu held his phone, looking like he had just swallowed a fly. Did these 2 idiots get brainwashed by a pyramid scheme? Rich and famous, trample us under their feet. He tossed the phone to me, looking totally disgusted. So cursed. Block them. Block them right now. I looked at that text message, thinking about how in the original novel, Suwon's startup succeeded and Yu Yu's family was completely destroyed and ruined. Then I looked at the currently thriving high-spirited Gu Yu and Lei Jun's booming company. A bizarre, surreal feeling of altered destinies washed over me. Brother Gu, I put the phone down and said seriously, I think it's best if they literally never come back. Gu Yu nodded in complete agreement. Let's hope so. Years flew by in the blink of an eye. Lai Yun became a massive tech billionaire. His company reached unicorn status in the industry, and his name constantly headlined financial news. As a founding shareholder, I had achieved total financial freedom ages ago. The assets under my name had grown exponentially. Gu Yu smoothly took over his family empire, becoming a ruthless, decisive powerhouse in the business world. He shed his arrogant, youthful edge, gaining a calm, calculated maturity. Only when hanging out with us old friends would he show glimpses of his old self. One day, Gu Yu called me out of the blue. The sound of ocean waves in the background. Zhang Mo. Maldives, private island, flights and hotels are fully booked. Hurry up and pack your bags. See you at the airport tomorrow. I'm taking you to see the real ocean, sun, beaches, and swaying palm trees. I was wearing some flashy, ridiculous board short shorts, chilling on a pristine white beach chair, watching Gu Yu not far away, rocking neon, obnoxious swim trunks. Currently trying to teach a blonde in bikini how to surf. I couldn't help but crack up. The warm tropical sea breeze brushed against my face, bringing a lazy, totally relaxed vibe. My phone buzzed in my pocket. It was a message from Lei Yun, containing a link to a news article. I tapped it open, and the headline was totally wild. Multinational cyber scam syndicate destroyed. Hundreds of suspects extradited back to China. Masterminds exposed, hidden among a bunch of pixelated, gaunt-looking suspect photos. I instantly recognized two familiar faces, Su Wan and Chen Rui. They were wearing identical prison uniforms, their eyes totally hollow and numb. Their skin was rough and tanned dark, their hair fried like dead weeds. They didn't have a single shred of their old campus glory left. All that remained was the pathetic, broken state of two people, utterly destroyed and humiliated by reality, standing, packed in the crowd of criminals. They looked like 2 grains of sand ground into the dirt. The news article detailed that the syndicate had been operating out of northern Myanmar for a long time, using high-paying jobs as bait, along with illegal imprisonment and torture, to force massive numbers of people into running telecom scams. The stolen funds were astronomical, and the charges were incredibly severe. I calmly closed the link and looked up. Under the crystal blue sky, Gu Yu had finally given up his surfing lesson, walking toward me with his surfboard under his arm, complaining loudly. His ocean-soaked hair clung to his forehead. In the sunlight, his smile still carried that wild, carefree teenage energy. "What are you looking at? Come on, let's hit the water. Your bro will teach you," he yelled, tossing an ice-cold drink perfectly into my lap. The freezing condensation splashed on my face, giving me a sharp, refreshing jolt. I twisted open the cap, and the freezing liquid slid down my throat, completely wiping out the last trace of the summer heat. In the distance, endless waves rolled out, as the ocean and sky merged into a perfect blue.